Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Flavorcity Breakers of Change. We are setting this in the world of Flavor City, an expansion of Flavortown, for those of you who didn't get that immediately. I am Ben, I'm your Dungeon Master, and we are going to go ahead and run around the table real quick and introduce all of the different players and who they're playing. So we're going to start with Andrea.
Hello, everybody. I'm Andrea. The person I am playing today is Bulford Angus Cattleman the Fourth. He's basically just a Highland cow minotaur. I chose monk for the class, but he's just a good old farm boy who's just doing his best and is really at inner peace with himself.
Fantastic. Next, we will throw down to Gingy.
Hey there, everybody. So I'm Gingy. I'm playing Charles Lamont Ribidoux, a druid who's just living out in swamps, based off of my grandfather, who speaks a certain way that I will try to replicate. That I will probably do a piss poor job at.
Hey. All right, and finally, we'll throw over to Charlie.
Hey y'all, I'm Charlie, and this is Ren. He'll probably make an appearance. And I'm playing Melis Orpington Naget. She's just a small town chicken farmer, comes from a long line of chicken farmers, half elf. She's a ranger, and she really just loves her chickens and finding inner peace.
Fantastic. So, a little bit of background before we get into it. 16 years ago, the Great Council launched a search for a champion to lead the region into an era of prosperity. They found one, or rather two, who served for about a year before the search launched anew. The intent to have the mantle being passed on from year to year after that. Next year, however, a purveyor of the arcane arts so powerful and so charismatic came forth that they just sort of instated him as the resident ruler for the time being, and he then brought the region into an era of prosperity never before seen within the small township of Flavor. The area quickly grew to the size of a booming metropolis, becoming renamed Flavorcity. The Great Council moved their operations to this city, and they had about 15 years of beautiful prosperity, with people coming in from all over to set up shop, build their restaurants, and to experience the culture of the city. However, in the last several months, the grills and fryers and smokes of the artisans that live within the city walls have started to go out, and there's been a strange absence of this leader that they have found, and it has had unforeseen consequences on the area around it. And so we are going to dive in with a quick little stop over at the Kettleman residence.
Oh, perfect.
So, Bulford Angus Cattleman the Fourth, you are enjoying a mid-morning break from working out in the fields. You and your, there's no other way to say it, herd of children have been working since dawn. And you guys are taking a quick break back on the ranch out in the pastures when you are approached by a goose. He comes flying in and sort of hits the deck as you're sitting on your wraparound porch, hits the deck and somersaults up to you before he spits out a fortune cookie at your feet and looks at you.
Oh, Lord. Well, hello there, little one. You okay there? And I say that as I pick up the fortune cookie. You doing
Sure.
all right? That was a hard landing.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
All right then. What's who brought me this here fortune cookie? And I'll crack it open, obviously, and just whatever fortune as he's talking, if he talks, I'll read the fortune.
You crack it open and read it, and the message on it just says, "Meet at Mac and Brent's, period. Urgent." He says, "Everything you need to know is on the cookie. All right.
Well, all
You
right.
need it
then.
within the city as soon as you can get there. That's all. Okay, bye now." And he turns around and he flies away.
Oh, well, all right then. Bye there, friend.
And if you turn the fortune over, there are lucky numbers listed on the back. They are 1, 4, 6, 22, 23, and 68.
1, 4, 6, 22,
23 and 68.
3, 68. Damn, one off from 69.
Sorry.
Nice.
That's all right.
You watch this goose just sort of like flap off into the distance. And one of your kids turns and looks at you and says, "Dad, what is it?"
Well, looks like I'm being called to the city. But don't you worry. Your mama's gonna be here. And she'll take care of you. Let me go find her real fast. Gotta let her know that I guess I'm my time for an adventure vacation.
All right. You go ahead and you get yourself up off of your rocking chair. You make
Dad
your way into
noises.
the big farmhouse. Yep, all the dad grunts. Pat, all 12 of the kids that you happen to pass on the way in. You go
Some
inside.
grown, some not.
Some grown, some not. They all stick around though. And you make your way inside to find your wife, Betty Ann Cattleman, sitting inside, currently behind one of the younger kids, pulling a brush through her hair, saying, "Now you got to stop squirming like that, otherwise this is going to hurt even more." And she pulls down through the mop that sits on top of this poor little Highland cow minotaur's head.
4 flashbacks of my own childhood. Betty Ann, my beautiful, beautiful wife. How are we doing today? Little one, you need to stop squirming. I promise it'll be much easier if you just let it happen.
Oh,
It's just hair. We could always cut it off and grow it back if you really don't want it long.
And that's what I told her, but she just won't stop squirming away. Lucille, get over here and stop it. Oh, we're doing all right. She's the last one today. And then I'll get to working on lunch and then join you all out in the fields, and you can do dinner if you want.
Well, actually, that's what I was coming in here to let you know. And I show her the fortune cookie. Looks like I'm being called in for some kind of mission down in the city. Got to see what's going on.
Well,
Looks like it's my turn.
all right. I mean, last I checked, it was my turn, but
I
that's all
know.
right, I guess.
Don't worry. Next time, we'll try to make sure you get the biggest, longest adventure vacation. And you know what? I won't say a word. I won't say nothing. It'll be the best vacation you ever had.
All right. That's fine. Well, I guess I'll just make sure that the kids stay fed, stay working. And actually, while you're in there, you wouldn't mind taking a quick little detour to see what's going on with, the supply lines, would you? People have just
No,
not
I
been
will-
buying up milk as much as they have been.
I will make sure to keep my eye out. I'll look for our supplier. Don't worry.
All right.
Anything else you need me to do while I'm in the city?
I mean, there's always room for some fresh bread or some eggs or something like that. It's always better if it comes from the farm, but there's plenty of those good bakers in the city itself, so wouldn't mind if you picked up a loaf or two.
All right. I'll make sure to find something good.
All right, darling.
Only
She
the best
gives
for you.
She gives you a kiss on the cheek and says, "Well, get on now. Otherwise, I might just stop you and go myself instead."
Oh, you know what? I'd miss you too much. And I'll go ahead and walk. I'll start walking.
All right. So you go and you pick up your pack, gather up the things that you need, and start to make your way in towards the city, across the acres and acres and acres of land towards Flavorcity, a couple of miles away.
I just mutter the entire time, milk and eggs, milk, eggs, bread. And sometimes I forget one of them, and then I remind myself, oh, no, it's the and I just keep walking, muttering the whole way there.
Amazing. From there, we are going to cut over to the Nougat residence, where a relatively young half-elf is out tending to her chickens right now. Melis, you are out taking care of your flock, just sort of, feeding them as they come up to you, giving them a little bit of love now and again. When you hear from behind you somewhere a very loud as a goose comes and slams into the wire that wraps the immediate sort of coop area that you're sitting inside of, and just sort of looks at you through the wire.
Well, hey there. Do you belong at the next farm over?
I don't think so. This is for you. And he spits out a fortune cookie in front of you.
I pick it up, hoping that it's not got too much chicken poop on it.
Seems to have landed between the piles somehow.
It's good. Now what's this? Is this for the girls?
No, you open it and you read it.
Oh, okay. I'll crack it open.
You crack it open, and inside is a fortune that says, "Meet at Mac and Brent's, period, urgent." If you turn it over, it's got the lucky numbers 1, 4, 6, 22, 23, and 68 on the back.
1, 4, 6, 24.
No, 1, 4, 6, 22, 23, and 68.
22, 23, and 68. Okay.
We lost Gingy.
There he is.
There he is.
I'm sorry, I pushed a button.
That's all right.
Never push buttons, Gingy. Well, thank you. Would you like some feed before you go?
No.
Oh, all right.
Just you just need it in the city whenever you can get there. And he turns around and he flies.
Wait,
away.
who is this from?
It's way gone.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll take my last little bit of grain from my little satchel and sprinkle it out for the girls, and then I'll walk on back to the house to see see my dad and grandpa and great pa.
All right, so you leave the coop area and head back towards the farmhouse, and as you enter, you can hear some kind of argument, it seems, from your pa and your grandpa and your great pa. But as you walk into the room with them, you hear that they are not actually arguing, but instead loudly telling stories at each other. Great Pa is currently in the middle of one, where he's sitting back in his recliner and going, "Well, you see, it was the 90s. All those kids, I don't know what to do with them anymore." And your pa's just like, "Yeah, we know, Grandpa." And your grandpa goes, "Yeah, well, it's that way sometimes, so." And they all turn to look at you almost simultaneously and go, "Oh, Melis, hi.
Hi, Pa. Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Great Pa.
You're in early today," says your great pa.
Yeah, Great Pa. Great Pa.
Oh, you're over there. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta go.
To the coops?
No, I gotta go to the city.
To the city? There's no chickens in the city.
Well, that's part of the problem. But I was wondering, could I borrow your chain shirt? I don't know what I'm gonna see in there.
My shirt? Why is your daughter asking for my shirt? Your dad looks at him and says, She's not asking for your shirt. She's asking for your chain shirt. The one you used to wear to get rid of the wolves." He goes, "Oh, if you can find it, sure."
Okay. Thanks, Great Pa.
You're welcome. So anyway, all those kids kept coming and stealing my chickens and then throwing them all over the place. As your great pa just launches back into the story he was telling, Your pa, your dad, turns and says, "Shirt should be just up in the attic, darling.
Thanks, Pa.
You got it. Be safe. I don't know what you're getting into or why you need that shirt, but
I don't know. I got a visit from a goose.
well, that can't be a good thing.
No, I know, but seems important, so I'm gonna go.
All right. You take care of yourself. Make sure you come back to us all right. And if you think of it, your great pa keeps talking about this bread pudding that he had from a place in the city about 30 years ago, just back when it was still a little bitty town. So if you happen upon it, just bring some back for him, okay?
I'll see what I can do. If and if I don't find it, I'll try and make something for him before I get back. I'll try and bring him something.
All right.
You make sure the girls get fed, all right?
Of course.
Sorry to leave them.
That's all right. It's the way it goes sometimes. You gotta leave the farm to come back to it. That's what they always say. So
Yeah. I'll try and bring them something special too.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, you go get to looking and get into the city before dark hits, because the fields start to get a little more dangerous when that old sun goes down.
I know.
All right.
I'll head up to the
upstairs.
attic. Yeah.
Great.
Gather up my things.
Yeah. Chain shirt is incredibly easy to find. It's just sitting sort of on like draped over one of the crates that's upstairs for you. Seems like somebody's taking care of it just in general. Probably your dad, because he would be the one that would go and like make sure that things are all right. It's not sure why your great pa doesn't know that. But you go ahead and you gather up all your things and you start to make your way in towards the city. Unless there's anything else you want to hit on the old homestead.
That's good.
Okay, sounds good. From there, then, we will jump over to the Ribideau establishment, way out in the lakelands, past where all the fisheries are, to the edge of the swamplands. Charles, you're out, just having a normal kind of day. You're sitting with your net sort of draped into the water a little bit, talking to any of the animals that want to come up to you and have a little conversation. You're actually in the middle of having a relatively long conversation with a little toad that has decided to hop on up to you, sit on the floating dock next to you. It's tough because all he really wants to talk about are the flies. So he just keeps saying, "Flies?
Uh-huh.
The flies are everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Can I have more flies?"
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Where are more flies?
There's one over there, and you can run around in front of you, and there's somebody there, too.
Okay. And then you hear as a goose comes flying and slams into your back, actually. As the landing strip that you're sitting on, again, is just sort of a floating dock that's about 3 feet wide. So it's not a whole lot of room. So he just crashes into your back, reels back a little bit, looks at you and goes, "This is for you." And he spits the fortune cookie out, sitting next to you on the dock.
You fool, you've let me see a goose now. I've broken this game.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, I just kind of turn around and go, oh, what do?
It's for you. You're supposed to crack it open and read it. Yeah, like that.
I'll crack it open, yeah.
Inside is an identical fortune to the other two. It says, "Meet at Mac and Brent's, urgent." Flip it over. Lucky numbers are 1, 4, 6, 22, 23, and 68.
Okay.
And the goose.
Do I know a Mac and or Brent?
You wouldn't. Well, all three of you guys, I would say, at least know of the place that is referred to in this. It's a little like coffee shop kind of place that's just inside of the city walls. It's one of the earliest established places after the city started to take off. So it's well known, but it is not necessarily somewhere that you would frequent. I'd say.
Okay.
But the Goose looks at you and goes, "They need you in the city whenever you can get there, all right?"
Mm. All right. Move around, finish up a couple things up, and I'll come on over.
Oh, okay. I think you said you're coming, so that's good enough for me.
Hey.
And he turns around and he flies off. So, and as you look back down, your little toad friend has jumped away from the crashing Goose.
Proper.
You start to call out for him. Doesn't seem to come back.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go around and finish up the daily tasks. Just make sure that there's not any muck about. Make sure that the fishes look okay. I'll probably go by and tell Bobby I'm heading out.
Okay.
Then I'll probably grab a couple of the gumbo fillet. That way I can try and maybe give some out if I'm in town, just because it ain't been selling like it used to.
All right, sounds good. So you go ahead, stand up, get yourself moving up and down the docks, making sure that stuff is where it needs to be, making sure that everybody is doing what they need to do. See old Bobby off in the swamp a little ways. Give him a wave, yell at him that you're leaving. He responds with, "Okay, just come back safe, and
Yeah.
I could use some eggs if you're offering."
Oh yeah.
All right. You continue on your way, collecting everything up. You go ahead and get a couple dishes ready to go, and you go and find Richie the boatman, and he would go ahead and take you back towards land, as opposed to out in the middle of the lake, at least. So, unless there is anything else you want to get done, we will keep going.
I think that takes care of everything, as long as everything's up to date. Like, as long as I'm not like leaving anything that's gonna fall apart. Say I'm gone for like a week.
Yeah, no, you take care of stuff pretty easily.
Okay.
There are enough people out there that know what's going on to be able to fill the gaps as you're going. So you all make your journeys in whatever way you can towards the city. And as the sun starts to go down in out over the city, that's what I'm trying to say. As the sun starts to go down, you have a weird sort of smell hit you as you're walking in. You're all coming from different directions, so you haven't actually run into each other yet. But the smell of like stale grease and just sort of like griddle slime just sort of like wafts up and washes over the area around you, which is interesting because usually this area surrounding the city smells amazing. It smells like a whole hodgepodge of the different foods that are being cooked within the city, which run the entire board of different kind of cuisines. And all of that like really nice flavorful smell has been replaced with the smell of old grease and sort of grime and gristle. And so as you come up over the hill that sort of rings the city, what you're expecting to see is what you remember, which is the city walls that are made up of some sort of like muted mottled colors of like blues and greens and browns and that sort of thing, that are covered in this street art style artwork mural that just sort of wraps all the way around it, almost like a food truck would look like, with the air supposed to be smelling like this like savory, sweet, really robust sort of smell. and the like sort of faint sound of the different musics from the different districts of the city playing out and floating over to you. Instead, as you come up over the hilltop, what you are met with is what seems to be almost a fortress instead of a city. It is the walls are now dull and like dark gray or black. This smell of the grime and gristle that you caught on your way in is more present as you come over, and instead of music and pleasant sounds, you're met with the sound of this loud but relatively quiet from how far you are away, sort of like clanging sound, almost like a mechanical sort of ringing that just sort of fills the area around the city. And as you guys crest over, see this, and are a little bit confused, you all start to make your way towards where the main entrance to the city is. And as the sun goes down, or begins to go down more, the sort of fill of light above the city becomes this neon-y, fluorescent sort of light that is just hovering above the city. And as you guys are making your way towards the main gate, you would all start to converge, which means that, depending on your perspective, a blue, fishy kind of man, a large cow, or a half-elf are walking towards you. And you guys can interact and introduce yourselves in any way you want to.
I will say Bulford sees none of this. He's just concentrate. Milk, bread, no, eggs, bread, no, milk, bread, eggs. Yeah, is that right? No, bread, milk, and he's just counting on his fingers, only like barely looking up to make sure he's still walking the right direction. And then he goes back to counting.
Amazing. So I guess then, Charles and Melis, you guys see this large cow man going as he's walking in towards the city.
Oh, them else been wanting to get made.
So as I see them, I'm gonna call out to, I guess the fishy man, because the cow man seems very, very focused, and say, "Excuse me, do you know where Mac and Brent's might be?" And you see this half elf in really worn overalls and a chain shirt underneath, with all her hair just like piled messily on top of her head, and on the very top of that, it's just a little chicken.
Oh
Just,
my God,
contented, just like made a nest. She's doing a good job.
Is that one Lefty or Feathers the second?
And this is Acorn.
Oh, this is the new one.
They
Let
have
me
new
write this
names.
down.
New names.
Amazing.
Okay, I want to make sure I got this Acorn. Okay. So, yeah, whenever you say that, I guess Charles turns around. You can kind of see just this Triton dressed in just kind of scraggly overalls and a bit of an undershirt there. Just kind of stuff that looks like if it got wet, you necessarily wouldn't be too bothered by it. So, yeah, he kind of turns around. He's got this just fishnet hanging by him. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, just run along here. You come on, follow."
Pardon?
Yeah.
When I hear her say the name, I'll like stop and like to kind of turn around and be like, "Oh, I know where that is. By the way, he said that we're gonna go follow him. How far south you from?" I got cousins down his way. I'll follow y'all. I'm going the same direction.
Oh, we're all. You're both going to Mac and Brent's?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I also got to get groceries on the way. The missus is looking for milk, eggs, no, bread, milk, and eggs, I think. I'm gonna keep going over that list. I gotta make sure.
I
Love to
reach
come in
into a pouch kind of off my shoulder and say, "You want an egg?"
I would, sure. I love an egg, man.
Great.
This is a mighty fine, great egg.
Great, yeah,
I
a
offer
great egg.
you an egg and just try it. Just spread on.
I'll hand one out to the train. Do you want an egg?
Oh yeah, about to get you one of those.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
An egg in these trying times is a perfect remedy for everything.
Yeah.
And you get a sense the pouch is still very full. You get a sense that there's still a lot of eggs.
He makes
like-
a mental note. "Oh, I found the egg. They're good."
Once
Just
I
gotta
like
remember
once I get the egg, I'll like pull out like a little vial and say, "You want some gumbo for it?"
Oh, I've never had it, but that sounds. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And you just get a little vial full of like this finely grounded powder.
Thank you. Thanks. Do I just throw it back?
Oh yeah. No. You when you're making a gumbo, you gotta make it in and make it root.
Oh, okay. All right, I can. I can do
He's
that.
selling you all the spices and stuff. We've
I
had it
can do
before.
that. I can do that. All right. Well, I don't cook, but Paul can make it. Let's get back.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you've ever done it my way, you can come by and I'll mix them up.
Oh, thank
We'll make sure of
Got
it, and I assume we're walking the whole time.
Yeah, you guys just keep going.
Bulfer does not put the egg up because he doesn't have a bag, so he just pulls
you. You don't have an egg.
the egg.
Oh, that's a good point. I guess I could turn into a snake and like swallow the egg, but that just seems kind of counterproductive.
Oh no.
Oh
Come on, Whiffy.
no!
There we go.
There you go.
Whiffy's
He's
back.
Hey.
Whiffy is back.
You laugh too hard.
Left. All right. So yeah, you know what? We're gonna skip the rest of the game. You guys are just gonna make food with this random stuff that you keep pulling out of nowhere. That's what we're doing now. Instead.
Well, this is Bulford holding the egg.
I mean, if we
Very
get near a lake
careful.
of water, I can just command the fish to get in my net, and we can make a gumbo. I just need some rice. I need a little bit of broth.
Oh, good.
Oh,
As you guys are making your way towards the city, you're all following this path that you're all relatively familiar with because it all sort of converges to the main road in. And you get to the main gate of the city, which is closed. And that's odd because the gates of the city have never been closed anytime you've been here before. Particularly during daylight hours still. It's getting later, but they're pretty much always just sitting open. And there is a little like security kiosk almost off to the side with a man sitting inside of it, leaned back, not looking up at all as you guys have walked up to the gate.
I kind of lean down. Excuse me, sir. Why are the gates closed?
I'm confused. Are you here for a shift or
A shift? I'm here for shopping. There's shops. There's other stuff to buy in here. What you mean? A shift? He's very upset by this.
Yes, the ones that are allowed into the city from the outside are either the truck drivers or the workers. Did you miss the memo? Do you not have a job anymore or something?
Sir, I work on a farm. I always have a job. I always have work. I don't need your fancy shift work. I work with the sun from up until down. What is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
I work with the sun from up until down. What's wrong? Amazing.
Words are hard, man.
This is fair. He looks past you then and says, what about the other two of you? Do you have a shift that you're here for?
You know, they come few around here. You know, winter coming on, and we're gonna have to come here. You know how it is. Don't you just come around and viewing, just let us in. I promise we won't get that.
What did the mumbly man say? You large person.
Me? Oh, well, we're here to get in the city.
Are you interviewing for a job?
Sure, we're interviewing for a job.
Great. Then you can come
Excuse me.
back
He's just nodding
tomorrow
it to you.
morning.
Yeah.
Would
Tomorrow
you like,
morning.
Would you like an egg?
No, I'm all right. Thank you.
Then what time tomorrow morning?
You can come in when the trucks come through tomorrow morning at dawn.
What's your name, little man?
My name?
Yes.
My name is Davies. What's it to you, large man?
The name's Bulford. Friend.
All
I'll
right.
remember you.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Before you want to kick the guy.
Listen. My daddy taught me to be kind, and this man is not kind. So the next thing my daddy taught me was to throw hands. He's interrupting my peace. I have a shopping list.
Can't be interrupted, no peace. Excuse me, is the city on lockdown or something? Like why can't ordinary folk just go in?
It's almost night. The city itself is closed. The places within will stay open for the people that live within the city, but business with the outside is conducted during the day. Now, if you wouldn't mind stepping back, I would prefer not to have to scrape you all off of the ground in front of here when the trucks come through in just a minute.
Okay. Thank you.
There isn't happening to
You're
be like
welcome.
a moat around, like right near there, is there?
No, there's not.
Dang. Gotta command all the fish to just flood his booth.
Bulford to like scoot over a little bit, just so that way he's not like in the way, but he's still like in the view of the box. And he's like, well then, little man, he'll like lean on the box so that way it like creaks a little bit. So then, little man, where can 3 fine travelers find rest for the evening, since the city is closed to the outside and most of the rest would be inside?
I don't know. That's
Leans
your
harder on the
problem, not
box.
mine.
Well, where do you sleep? Huh?
I live within the city, but I am on the night shift, as evidenced by the fact that I am working presently.
Well, how do you know we ain't on the night shift?
I asked you if you had a shift within the city you were coming for, and you
Oh,
said,
you didn't say
a
night
shift? I work with the sun.
I said I work with the sun. I didn't speak for these kind of folks.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't speak at all then. Well, the one mumbled and the other one asked about an egg. So
But he's not mumbling. He's speaking full words. What's the matter? You never heard?
No, my
You never heard his
fault, man.
accent? That's pretty rude. Saying
Yeah.
he's mumbling.
I
Wait a minute.
apologize from the bottom of my heart then. Now, please excuse me. And he hops out. He hops down off the chair he was on, and he comes out of the security box as this long line of like big supply trucks roll up and stop. As he then starts to walk around, you see as he walks around, he's way shorter than you thought he was going to be. He's like, he's a human man, but he's like 5'2" max.
Oh wow.
Itty bitty.
And yeah, he might have a little bit of a complex here, and that might be what he's playing off of. But he goes around to each of the driver's side doors, or he starts to walk around to the driver's side doors, and looks up at each of them and goes, "What are you bringing?" And then he goes ahead and he starts to write down what's being brought in.
As he writes down, is there a gap between the gate and all like the trucks and whatnot? Like, or is the gate like opening and closing with each truck that passes through?
No. They're all just sitting there waiting as he makes his way on his little bitty legs all the way down the line.
So the gate's open is what I'm hearing.
No, the gate is closed right now.
But it's about to
all
open.
of
Okay.
But all of the trucks are like cargo trucks. They're not like semis.
Yeah.
So you could feasibly like get into them if you wanted to.
Okay, that's probably a better option. I was just gonna pick up the 2 smalls and just charge.
Is there anyone else like at the gate, like any guards on the wall?
No.
Anybody else besides this little man?
There's just this 5'2" man sitting in a security booth.
He does not get paid enough to do it.
No wonder he's rude with us. This is a terrible job.
He needs to get paid more. That's what you get for working on a chain.
Mm.
There is no one else here that you can see right now. Just him. Seemingly, and the way he's made it sound, trucks come in twice a day, which means that he does one thing and then waits for 8 hours, and then the next person shows up, and that's it. So
Poor man.
he doesn't have a great time.
So he is now working his way down the line.
Yeah,
So
and this
he's
is like
not near
a
the first
30.
trucks.
This truck chain is like 30 trucks long. Like he has to walk like a good half mile away to get to the end of the chain. So there is ample time for you guys to do something here. What do you want to do?
Do they look like big enough that they can hold me?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
I assume
All right.
you mean the trucks?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the two people who are obviously shorter.
You can
and
try.
way much-
I lift sacks of grain on the farm. I'm real strong.
No,
I guess I
figured
could turn
you're
into a
Armstrong.
giant toad. We'll go back to the giant toad method. Hell, I could turn into a giant spider. We could just climb the walls. Honestly.
Make this the hardest thing possible.
Just get ready to fail on our first time.
You're gonna have to wait 8 hours outside of the walls for it to be.
That's how they get you. They're training you for the job that you haven't even got yet.
All right.
So what do you guys want to do?
All right, so we gotta get in the city. I ain't waiting all night. I know some of the crazy crap that is out there waiting. So you think it'd be faster to give him a few trucks to get past, to get a little bit down yonder, and then try to sneak into a truck? Or should we go to the back and try to sneak into one of them trucks?
I'd say probably after a couple.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
No.
All
Do
right.
we want to sneak in?
Well, that's what I was assuming.
I think so.
Or do we want to be upright about this and just ask the driver?
Ooh.
Oh,
We could ask the first one, see if he's kind, and then if he's not, we'll sneak
Just
sneak
keep
a
on
couple cars
move down the
down.
line.
Yeah, let's just drag out the conversation when we want to do.
All y'all charismatic?
Kind of look at them.
I'll take the reins
no.
on this one.
Okay.
I'll take the reins. So I'll go up to like the first truck driver. Like I'll walk up to where his thing is and knock on the window thing. Excuse me, sir.
You knock on the window. Window rolls down. He goes, yes.
Hello, sir. We have been trying to get into the city, and we're just trying to do this the right way. Do you mind if we hop in the back of this here truck and you just drive us in? We'll hop off as soon as you get in the city walls.
I don't know that that's the right way. Whoever told you that was lying to you.
That is true, sir. But it was actually the gate master who did that. He said you would get us in if we just hop on the back.
Make a deception check.
Should have seen that coming a mile and a half away. All right, hold on. Let me find my deception. All right, it's +3. It's not too bad.
Okay.
I would try to help you, but I feel like the act of helping would give you advantage, but the way I would try and say something would give you disadvantage. It would just balance out.
It would just even out to one roll.
Yeah.
16.
Okay. He says, it's just the three of yous.
Yes, sir.
All right. Don't you crush anything when you get in the back there.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I'll even move it out the way so that way you don't got to worry about nothing. All right. Perfect.
All right. Get in.
All righty. I'll walk over.
If he lets us.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'll wait for the guy to get a couple more trucks down, and then I'll tell him, be like, all right, we're hopping in the back.
That was good talking.
It was good talking.
I'm a pretty fast talker when the mood strikes.
You know, my great pa always said that I was real sweet, but you know, he can't hear too good. So I don't know that that's true.
Well, you can be sweet to the right people, but sometimes they just don't hear the words correctly.
Yeah. When I came out with lucky, I was about to summon 6 geese.
Eat.
Oh boy! Tell you what, you hold on to that one. I think that's good for something a little bit later, but not right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. One very large beast. One very large goose.
Giant goose.
You don't need
Large boy.
you don't need a goose. You need chickens. Now that's the better fowl. It is scientific fact.
I'd
I'll
like to
start
see
moving
them
some of the
research
boxes
later.
in the back of the truck so that way.
Yeah,
And then
sounds good. So as you guys are discussing the best foul, go ahead and everybody make stealth checks. Just to see, it's a group stealth check. We'll see where we get.
Okay, that's good.
that laugh.
It's a 10.
Oh. Alright, stealth.
17.
Stealth.
Okay.
Oh shit! 19.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Nice.
Offset that 10 somehow.
Thank you.
And honestly, the 10 wasn't that bad. I
Just
rolled with
shift
this.
boxes to cover.
I rolled perception for him with disadvantage because, like, he doesn't get.
He doesn't care.
with you
He's
guys.
a DC like 5.
Melis herself is pretty stealthy, but Acorn on top of her head is going.
You're perfectly hidden behind the box.
The chicken's just like.
Yeah.
Like every time you get
Charles is-
lower, the chicken's head just gets higher.
Charles is not at all stealthy. He just, whenever he walks, he's just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just
You're gonna
pure
swell.
sound.
Always a little wet. Always a little squishy.
Squelch
He's
is
got he
everybody.
has a +0. That was honestly, I just rolled a 17.
Nice. Oh boy. Okay, so about 30 minutes later, he wraps up his walk, and then you guys hear a loud sort of sound, and then you feel the truck under you just sort of like as it begins to move its way forward. And from where you're at, you can see the gate like pass over you as you guys drive your way into the city, and you have officially made it into the city. In here, the smell is just worse. Like it's what it was, but worse. It is gross. It is old fry oil. It's like a fast food bathroom. Like it's not a great place to smell. Yeah,
No.
exactly. But you guys, the driver of your truck sort of pulls over after he gets a couple of blocks into the city, and he comes around to the back and he says, "All right, here you go. Hop on out. If anybody asks, you didn't come with me, I guess."
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. You didn't drive us
We
in.
don't
We
even know your
walked
name.
on in. We were
Have a
already
good
in
night,
here.
you all.
Have a good night, sir. Good luck with the rest of your workday.
And he hops back into the truck and he drives on away. Now, you guys, let's see. Bulford, you are probably the one that would have been in the city most recently for grocery shopping more than anything else.
Yep. Whenever we can't grow on the farm, we gotta go out
exactly.
to shopping.
Melis, you might have come in with your dad relatively recently, but not super recently. And so you guys, one of you two make a survival check. I don't know, or actually make it with advantage as the other one tries to help orient where you guys are trying to get to.
Okay. Ooh. It's a 19, so an unnatural 20 for survival. Whoa, the other one's a 4.
Oh no.
So unnatural 20 and a 5.
Okay, so 20.
Jesus.
So between the two of you guys, you sort of like start pointing and going, and you lead Charles, who hasn't been here in a very long time. Charles, you sort of pick up whatever you can from the like small settlements that are out in the lakelands on the fisheries and stuff like that. Whenever you need stuff, so you really don't come in much. But the other two of you guys start to lead him through, and you're walking through, and it's weird and quiet with the exception of the loud sort of like metallic machine sort of like sound and banging and stuff like that. And then you realize that you are also walking past a bunch of abandoned fronts of different restaurants. places that you guys would have stopped in a time or two throughout your time here.
Bulford's
these
telling
places-
stories of each of his kids. Oh, I remember when Timmy did this. Oh, I just going on
Yep.
the whole time.
Yep. Every time you pass a new place,
It's a
you
new story.
point out a new story, which means that you stop in the middle of most of your stories to start a new one as you keep walking past places.
It never finishes.
Nope.
Oh,
And you guys turn a corner on your way towards Mac and Brent's, which you know is right around the corner here. And you are met with a very, very large fluorescent sign about 70 feet off the ground. It stretches out relatively wide. It's black with these yellow squares on it, outlining the letters IHOW, which, looking at the building, which is this large sort of like mega conglomeration of buildings, has labeled on the outside of it the International House of Waffles. As you guys are beginning to make your way in towards Mac and Brent's, you stop probably 200 feet short of that building to go into, or to in front of this little cafe off to the right, with a glass door and a glass front that has been like papered over from the inside almost, but you see just sort of like a faint glow from the inside. So you guys are standing in front of this papered over abandoned cafe front. What do you want to do?
But I can see, we can see like a glow.
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
of it.
Like it looks like there's some kind of light inside of the thing that's glowing through the paper.
All right. I'll give like a really a soft like tap on the door.
Tap tap.
Hello?
No worries. As you tap on the glass and yell "Hello," a familiar voice to the three of you now comes from the inside and says, "Yeah, come on in."
does it sound like the Goose?
It sounds like the Goose.
Okay.
Let's walk on in. That's a familiar
Usually,
voice.
usually make it a policy not to trust geese, but in this instance,
That honestly, that's fair.
That's so bad.
You guys walk in and see what looks like a cafe, like a coffee shop cafe kind of area, but it looks like it has been abandoned essentially for a month longer. Most of the chairs are up on tables. There is a single light on in here that is hanging over a table in the center, where you see not a goose, but a little gnomish man sitting leaned forward onto the table with a cup of coffee. Takes a sip and he says, "All right, so you three, you're the ones that they picked."
Well, we're the ones that the goose pick.
Are you a goose?
No, I'm not a goose.
You friends with the goose?
In a sense, yeah. And he
Co-workers,
goes ahead
then.
and he snaps, and a goose appears next to him, and it goes, "Nice to meet you." And he snaps again, and it disappears again.
Oh, magic man.
Yeah. So, in a way, friends with geese, but not often. They're not really that nice very often. So you just kind of take what you can get from them.
Yeah, you might want to think about chickens.
They don't fly as well as geese, though.
You just gotta, let the wings grow out.
Or I could just use geese, and nobody messes with the geese when they see the geese. If they see the chicken, they try and take it back to the coop, and that's no good for me. I just need the goose to get to where it goes.
Okay.
No disrespect to your chicken, Miss Chicken Lady, but he sighs again. He goes, "All right, well, if you guys want some coffee or something, help yourself, and then pull up a seat. I guess we got some talking to do."
All right, I love a cup of coffee. He starts going,
How about,
making a very meticulous cup of coffee.
do you have
Yeah.
chocolate?
Yeah, sure. Just if you can find it back there, you can have it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. was
I
hoping
might
you'd
just-
say it, but that's all right.
If there's any like little just might pull out like just a little tiny little bucket, like a travel size of like Jack, and just like dip it in the top, stir it around. You know.
Now see, that there's a man of taste. As you guys get whatever drinks you want to that you can find in this place, which it's a fully stocked coffee shop. It's just empty for some reason. Seemingly empty more than the fact that it's just like late now, because it's probably 8 p.m. or so. You go ahead and you grab chairs and pull them up to sit at this, small cafe table with this little gnomish man, which the size disparity, particularly for Bulford, is just hysterical. Like,
Bulford chooses not to possibly bend a chair, and he just kind of sits on the ground, but is so tall that he looks like he's sitting normally.
Yeah. All right. Are we feeling all right? Did we get what we wanted?
Absolutely, sir. Thank
Did
you.
you find any chocolate back there or not?
Oh, no, it's all right.
All right. I mean, I wasn't going to offer you any or anything. I don't just carry chocolate with me, but
Yeah, all right.
all right. So, anyway, I appreciate the three of you coming. It is not what I was expecting. I sent out about 6,000 geese earlier, and I only expected to get 3 back, but I wasn't expecting a large cow, a woman with a chicken on her head, and a blue man. So this is interesting to me.
Well, it could have been me or my wife. You would have got a large cow regardless.
With all due respect, I mean, I don't see a quality issue with the three of us, but I think this just goes to show what happens when you trust Keith.
Well,
It's a geese hate game.
Yes.
Do any of you know any magic or anything?
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
there like a small torch around or something?
I mean, there's the light bulb above you guys.
I mean, I don't know if I want to cast Create on Fire on that.
Fair enough. He says, "Great. So you'll probably at least kind of understand this then. I sent out a bunch of messengers with magic fortune cookies, okay? And the 3 heroes that I am looking for were supposed to get the fortune cookies to summon them here. Everybody else just happened to get a goose that showed up with a fortune cookie for no real reason. Not really my problem what that does to their sleep or anything like that. I got a bigger issue to deal with here than people going on about talking geese. All right. So anyway, my name is Bot Kindro. I run this place. Well, I did. And I think the city's in trouble and we need your help for it.
What type of trouble?
Well, the leader of the city, the mayor, the sorcerer, he's been absent for the better part of 3 months now, something like that. So I'm worried about him. He's an old friend of mine. I was one of his first recruits into the city once he, got all big and fancy and whatever. He's an old friend of mine. He came in, said, "Hey, I like your stuff. Come to this town that I'm trying to make bigger." And he said, "All right." So I did. But he usually makes his rounds and he usually comes and checks on us. And he's the reason that the chains for the last 15 years have, stayed in their lane. This place is one for delicious food and flavor. And instead now, we got all of these guys that are coming in and they've got their deep fryers and their deep fryers and their more deep fryers and everything is just deep fried and I don't understand it. So,
Fun fact, deep fries are very clean.
deep no disrespect to deep fryers, just disrespect to people who deep fry exclusively subpar food.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm
There's
saying
no heart and
they're
soul in
flammable.
it.
They're flammable. We can burn them.
They're very flammable. That's accurate, I guess. I don't. To be clear, I want you to help save the city, not burn it to the ground. Was that unclear before?
No, sir. It's just a thought that we could have burned at least some of the city to the ground, but
Yeah,
we don't need
fair
to burn
enough.
it all. There's
Fair
some good
enough.
memories.
I prefer to not do that.
Ooh, yeah. Like
But
a controlled fire.
again, these are like family businesses and stuff here, right?
Okay.
Well, we won't burn them to the ground. We'll burn the big ones.
They're kind of built on top of the family businesses, right?
Never mind.
I'm
That
sure you
makes-
saw the how on the way in. It's just
Yeah.
sort of like it's got these feet that go down and it, like inside of these different places, and it's sucking the life out of them through that. Anyway,
And I reckon, like, if we could kick the chains out, then new businesses could use those buildings. We don't want to destroy all
right?
the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, right? I think it's time for somebody to go looking for the sorcerer. My good buddy Fiery, okay? He needs to come back because we're struggling. I'm sure you guys walked in and saw all the little places that are all boarded up. All those people, they've had to take jobs at the chains instead because they just run them out of business. And so it used to be that you could walk through these streets and find all sorts of beautiful different foods. And now you can't go 10 feet without running into one of those big things. And they're not bad. They're good for certain occasions, but they're just not good. So we need to cut them back down to size is what I'm saying. And you might be asking yourself, well, why does this little gnome man send out a bunch of geese with magic fortune cookies to find random people to come and try and save the city, right?
You read my mind, yeah.
Good point.
I'm good at stuff sometimes like that. Anyway, this is why. And he goes ahead and he pulls out and puts on the table in between all of you guys a menu. It's a very old looking menu, like very old looking, and it looks like just an old diner menu. And he says, "Now, do any of you know anything about history?"
Good question.
Probably not, but
I know a slight amount.
I just know what Great Pa told me.
all right. Well, depending on how old your great paw is, right? He might have heard of a man named Walter Buckley Palmer and his fancy pantsy lunch wagons. All right. Now, this man started up way back in the day. I'm talking like way before I was born, but before a lot of people were around. He started up this concept. It was a lunch wagon. It turned into your food trucks, your diners, your sit down casual kind of places. And this here is his first menu from his first ever wagon. And there's something special about this, right? And it's that it's, as most things in the first it's a magic menu. And in the menu, it's got a prophecy, or so I've been told. I've never been able to read it, as it hasn't been relevant. So I sent out the geese in the hopes that I would get some people back, and then the prophecy would reveal itself. Because apparently that's how prophecies work. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Grover down the street told me that's how prophecies work, and I trust Grover. He's a good guy.
Oh, you mean Grover?
He runs a good sandwich shop. Well, he used to run a good sandwich shop. Now he works
Oh.
over for Mick-fil-A, and who knows what happened to him.
I remember that sandwich shop. That was a good. It was a mean sandwich right there.
Exactly.
It's been around forever.
That's my point. And that's what we're trying to get back to here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So this here menu is supposed to reveal some kind of prophecy. I'm not a magic person. I just hit real good.
Can we see it?
Yeah. I mean, let's see. All right. So
I can cast something if need be. I can cast detect magic on this to see if that does anything.
I mean, you're welcome to if you want to.
Sure,
But
if we pick it up and it's not doing anything, I will.
Well, I mean, do you guys want to pick it up?
Yeah. Pick it up.
All right.
Look it over.
Wolfram picks it up and flips it over.
I'll
as you
read the
flip-
menu.
As you flip
on
over
it.
and read the menu, you can see starting to like shine through almost this like little filigree bits underneath and around a lot of the menu items, which are just like normal diner kind of things. They start to like morph and turn into these different sort of runes almost in the menu.
Yo, I'm magic.
Oh,
I'll show them the menu.
Good job.
Full belief. Oh, I got magic in me.
oh my goodness.
Good job. Good job.
You do, big buddy. You do. I'm very proud of you.
I think you must be like the chosen one or something.
Oh, I hope that is not it. My wife would be so upset with me if I was some kind of chosen one. Then I'd have to go on adventures all the time, and she wouldn't get her adventure vacations, and it would just not. The dynamic of our relationship would just not work out. We got too many kids for that.
I mean, it sounds like you got a good system, but I think the menu doesn't lie. And look at
Well,
it.
how many kids you say?
Oh, I got a whole herd of them. You want to see?
Oh,
Pull out a
absolutely,
wallet.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you got
And when he
some.
opens it, it just folds out. It's like an accordion.
Oh,
At
they're
one of the
really
points when it
cute.
folds out, it actually opens up double. Oh, these are the twins. This is Dolly and Jolene. And it
Oh.
keeps unfolding.
Real cute. They're real cute.
Some of them are younger, some of them are older. You see that some photos of the older ones, they have like a partner there with them.
Oh,
Oh,
Gotta keep it
that's
up to date.
that's a good looking herd you got there.
It just
Yeah,
takes
but
forever to
beautiful
fold
family,
back out. As it's folding up, you can continue the story.
Yeah, that's a beautiful family. I gotta say, it's a lovely family. But I got bad news for you if you don't want to be a chosen one. The geese already chose you. Or I guess
well-
the magic fortune cookies already chose you.
I mean, a chosen one for one adventure, that is okay. A chosen one for a lot of adventures, my wife would not be very happy. We'd have to switch off who's the chosen one.
I
don't
ate
think-
it. Was that bad?
No, it was a cookie. You could have eaten it if you want. It might give you some weird poops later on, but it was a cookie.
So far, so good.
All right, sounds good.
What are the magic numbers mean?
I don't know.
That-
It's a fortune cookie. It comes with magic numbers. I don't know what to tell you.
You use it to play the lottery. You know, you
Oh,
see one of them
Mhm.
old timey family establishment stores. You go in there. Sometimes they have the little numbers you can play. They got the scratch off tickets. These numbers, you just play them. I do it if I have any spare change in my pocket. I usually do it.
We
I
had to
haven't won
stop.
nothing yet, but I don't play it too often.
We had to stop Grandpa from playing on his scratchers. He just got a problem. Sometimes he tries to sneak out and get them, but that's why we got to keep on.
It
Now,
happens.
plenty of people just throw the scratches. They throw
Or-
them out in the lake. You know, sometimes they wash it from the shore. I never got a winner.
Oh, that's too bad.
I get the feeling if they're throwing them away like that, it's not because they won. Sorry to break it to you, big man, and I'm sorry to break it to you, big man.
Yeah.
But I don't think. Well, I don't know if you're just the chosen one for this little bit here forever, but I don't think you can just be like, "Hey, it's your turn to be the chosen one. Hey, it's your turn to be the chosen." I don't think you can just flip back and forth like that.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if. Do you know how it works though? 'Cause
No,
you-
not a clue. In
you
fact,
know?
the fact that this is happening to this menu at all is miraculous to me.
We should go ask Grover.
Yeah.
Grover.
That's true. He might know.
He might.
Send the
Um,
Goose his way. Have him come on over while we're trying to decipher the
Yeah.
passage.
He's busy at his.
Oh, is he on a?
Oh,
He's on a shift right now.
Oh, he's on one of them shifts.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah,
So
he's over at Chili Bees right now. Not the point.
Chili.
Um,
So what
so-
does the menu say?
Well, can you guys read it?
Can we?
I'll give it a try. Can I read it? gotta roll
Pretty
to read
sure.
it?
I'm pretty sure none of you guys can read it.
Oh, no.
Looking at
What's
your
the language?
languages.
what language is it?
Um,
It is.
Is it in chicken?
It's not in chicken.
Damn.
Is it Draconic or Deep Speech?
No, it's not. It's
Sylvan?
no, it's primordial.
Dang.
Almost took that.
I
know.
almost did too.
That classic element of flavor
Mhm.
that it would be written in.
Weird question. Would a goose be able to read Primordial?
Probably not.
I can't speak with animals.
Okay.
So can I?
And I look up at Acorn and say, do you understand? Do you understand what that what this menu says?
I'm sorry. Are you asking me if I understand the menu?
Yes.
No. It's a menu. I'm a chicken. I don't read.
I just
You
want
got any feed for me? Mama?
yeah.
Please.
There you,
Thank you.
there you go. You see that there's a bag on my other side that's like been squirming a little bit. I'm gonna open it, and another chicken pops its head out. I'm gonna look down at Captain Featherbottom II. You say, "Do you understand it, Captain?"
I dropped, and I have no idea what you said after you fed the first chicken.
I have a second chicken.
Great.
Yeah, and Captain Featherbottom II pops his head out of my little bag.
The one with all the
Her
eggs?
head. No, it's another bag.
Okay.
Got a lot of bags.
He's in the feed bag.
Yeah. Captain, do you understand the menu?
I can't say that I do, but
Oh.
I heard that Acorn got a little snack. And
Yeah,
can
here
I
you
have
go,
a
here
little?
you go.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Bad news, y'all. The girls don't know what it says.
Dang.
Gotcha. So I'll turn back to Bart and be like, all right, sorry there, man.
All right.
None of us read this.
All right, hang on. He goes ahead and he starts to move his hands around. And he casts a spell on himself. Cast comprehend languages. He says, all right, well, it's a prophecy or something. I think it's talking about you guys. All right, hang on. He digs around in his pocket and he pulls out a little pair of glasses and he goes, all right, time to... Oh, man, the old eyes don't work as good as they used to. All right. You ready?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So, right here, under the grilled cheese sandwich, it says, a great civilization will rise from nothing, built on the back of hard work and food for loving. At the height of prosperity, the city will fall to complacency, losing the passion and relinquishing their agency. The city will call out, finding Hero's tree, the only ones that can maybe set the city free. These heroes will fall unless aided by the spirit of flavor, and through their exploits, they gain its favor. Though it takes heart and their lives will be threatened, they must take up the utensils of legend. From there, they must find the key to it all, else the temple shall never fall. Then break the chains from inside and restore the order of ice and flames, or flavor will have died. I'll send that to you guys so you don't have to
I
write
was going to say, I tried writing it down. And
I was like,
I'll send it to you guys.
Okay, good.
but when I
And
did
then-
it go,
No, this
And then after that, it says double hamburger 87. Oh, that's part of the menu again. Okay, I think that's it.
so we gotta find the spirit of flavor, some legendary utensils, and something else.
The 10th.
Well, I got me a utensil. I mean, I pull out the pitchfork. I mean, this is a fork.
That's just a big fork.
You know,
Yeah, I got the net.
I'm pretty confident it's not talking about that.
Oh, all right.
What?
Put it back.
Are there, does the menu have numbers on it?
It's got prices on it.
Okay.
What's the most expensive thing on the menu? No, I'm just curious.
The most expensive item on the menu
Yeah.
is an ice cream sundae called the Spruce Goose for $11.
Steep price.
Nice.
Do
But it
any
was
of the
worth it, though.
prices match up with the lucky numbers?
I mean, there are the numbers 1, 4, 6, 22, 23, and 68 somewhere in the prices. You can get like a hamburger patty for like 23 cents. And you can get like, I mean, there's stuff that's like $1 something. And so it's like not in a way that is seemingly meaningful.
Okay.
The numbers are there,
That's
but
what-
they're not
They're not.
useful.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think that your big pitchfork is I don't think that's one of these utensils that he's talking about in here.
Fair enough.
I don't know, but I would have to venture a guess that the utensils they're talking about are the implements that my good buddy brought to the city with him.
And
Yeah.
those would be
I don't know exactly what they are, but I know that he had 3 of them, which is why it makes sense it would probably be this. And then he took them and he gave them to the 3 different districts, the 3 different major districts of the city, because he realized that they sort of emanate this flavor energy, right? They help the space around it produce better and better food, and that's what he was going for. So he took one of them and he sent it to the pit. He took one of them, he sent it to the stock pot. And he took one of them and he sent it to the range. Now, you guys are all out of towners. So I'll go ahead and I'll tell you. The pit it's where all your dry cooking is going to happen. It's your barbecues. It's your that sort of thing. The stock pot, it's where all your wet cookings is going to happen. It's your soups, it's your boils, it's your that sort of thing. The range is more where like your sweets and desserts area is kind of going to be. Now, there's nothing necessarily that dictates that each of these individual places has to only be where that thing happens. Like, you can't only get good barbecue out at the pit or in the area surrounding the pit. It just so happens that that's where most of the barbecue places are, right?
Mhm.
He would have given each of them to one of the highest ranking cooks in that area, who he didn't tell anybody who it was, just in case anything bad would have happened. They wouldn't be targets to go after or anything like that.
Right.
So we don't know exactly who in those places is which one and which thing went to which place. But that would be my best guess. Now, this key they talk about in here, couldn't tell you. Not a clue. Not a one clue.
Mm.
But it sounds like you're gonna need it.
Okay.
So
So
we
good.
know that one's in each area. Do we know if there's any other description on the item?
It doesn't say anything on the menu, and I don't know exactly what it was that he had that he like passed out to everybody, but they were all, from what he told me, core tenets of himself, or a symbolic representation of one of the core tenets of himself. So that's all I got to give you on that one.
Is there any way I could like roll history to see what the core tenets like? If maybe I'd read about that somewhere or heard it somewhere.
You can try a history check. It's gonna be a steep one, but you can.
Oh, I won't make it, but let's do it. That's 12.
Hey.
12.
You won the game.
Hey
Yeah,
man, you know the core tenets of gumbo, and you know the core tenets of the swamp. and
Yeah.
All you need.
it's all you
Yeah,
need.
yeah.
Do I remember anything? Does any of us remember like anything specific about like the sorcerer, Mister
Mr. Guy Fiery.
Mr.
Fiery? Yep.
himself?
Go ahead and roll history. We'll see. We'll
Just
see
want
where.
to see what happens. I'll probably
Yeah,
get
we'll see where
lower
we
than
end.
12, so I have a solid 0 modifiers. So.
Oh, I thought you said you got a 0. I was like, hey, that's lower than
Hey.
12.
I got 10.
Hey.
10. Not a whole lot. I
Here
mean,
was a person.
Bulford, you are one of the largest dairy/cattle farming families out in the land surrounding Flavorcity. So you would know. You would have like had a passing interaction with the guy at some point, because he does make his rounds and occasionally makes his rounds out and about to some of the bigger suppliers. He's a loud, boisterous, friendly kind of person. But he seems to always be positive in what he's doing, and usually you guys will hear him leave to a lot of fanfare when he goes out to try and find another person to bring back to the city to set up a new shop. Everybody seems to love him. So
He's a good man, that's for sure.
he's a good man. But past that, not a whole lot.
Nope. Too busy with everything else in the farm. I work from
Too
sun
busy
up
with
until
your
down.
massive number
Up
of
and down.
children.
You were a mite busy.
I was a little bit busy. Some of my kids are better for business. Some of them they got a head for numbers. I don't. I just work
Listen,
real
if you
hard.
have enough kids, eventually you'll be able to make a corporation. That's just how it goes.
We've been avoiding that. Kids don't have to stay on the farm if they don't want to. I just don't want to do a corporation. I like the family farm. We pay
It's a
our
family
farm hands
corporation.
a fair wage.
Fair enough. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you have any other questions for Bart here?
Where do you think the best place would start? The pits, the range, or the other one?
Stockpot?
Stockpot.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't much know. It's kind of a toss-up. You're gonna have to go pretty much all over the city to get to any of those places. So it's not gonna be just like an easy bang bang 1-2 we're done kind of thing. As much as we might like for it to be. But I would guess that, well, I guess I don't know what each of you guys does. The one guy, he pulled out some whiskey, so he might be good for like the wet cooking, maybe. I don't know. It's really kind of a toss up here. I have to imagine I'm gonna, against my better judgment probably, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna give you the menu. It should help you guys kind of figure out which direction you're going to, because from what I understand about it, it's gonna act like a little bit of a homing beacon when you get kind of close to the thing to help you sort of along your way, from what I understand. But past that, I don't really know what you want to do. The pit can get pretty rough. It gets hot down in there. It gets hot in all of them, but it's that dry heat, that really sort of makes your mouth all dry, and it's just kind of upsetting. And then over in the stock pot, it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the humidity. Really, it's just humid all the time.
Yeah.
And then out in the range, it's kind of a toss-up, depending on what they're doing in the day. But there's some weird stuff that comes out of that one in particular, always, because those dessert cooks, they're always pushing, and it always ends up being something kind of crazy. So
Now, do you know if they make any bread pudding over there?
I'd have to imagine that they do, yeah.
All right, good. Now, what about Mr. Fiery? himself.
What about him?
I mean, where does he go when he's not making rounds?
He spends a lot of his time over in the Temple of the Flavor, which is about 2 miles that way, and he points towards the center of the city. Which you guys would generally know, like there is a large like temple area. Initially, they wanted to build him like a palace, and he didn't want that, so they made a temple instead to sort of balance it out. That's where he spends most of his time if he's not actively out and about. But he spends so much time out and about that I don't know. And because it's been so long since anybody's seen him, we don't really know, what happened to him and where he was last.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all good.
Have you checked in the temple?
I can't really get to the temple.
Why not?
Well, you see, here's the thing, right? Most of the people of the city have had to take some terrible kind of job at one of these chains. That's awful. But everybody that hasn't had to take one of those jobs has pretty much been limited to just eating food from the chains anyway. And so whether you're working there or eating there, it kind of sucks your soul out. A little bit more literally than I would like to be. So people are just kind of the husks of themselves that they were before they got stuck working or eating at the chains. So I don't know that I could make it all the way there, avoiding all of that. But also, I don't know if you noticed, I'm kind of one of the last stops before it's just all closed up everywhere for everybody. So I don't want to leave in case something bad happens while I'm gone. This place is on its last legs anyway. So maybe once it falls apart, I'll go, but I'd really prefer it not fall apart, And the other thing is, last time I was up that way was a month and a half ago, maybe a little bit more. There was some major construction going around the temple, and I don't really want to know what it was. I'm going to be honest with you.
All right, I say we start our investigation there.
Yeah.
See what's going on that way, and then
Sounds good.
depending on what we see, we head either to the pits, the range, or the stock pot.
That sounds good for me.
Always.
Anything we need to eat up before we go out?
You guys are welcome to spend the night here if you want, instead of just getting rolling too, because
It's a little late.
It's late, and as bad as the city is during the day, I can't imagine it's going to be a whole lot better at night. So that's when the real freaks come out.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. I say we
That
spend
might
the
be
night, and then we start up early in the morning.
All right.
You got an oven right here?
Yeah, there's a whole kitchen in the back. I mean, this place, we sell coffee, but we sell food too, usually. So you're welcome
you
to
thought
anything
after you
can
canceled that first campaign, then that I wouldn't be cooking in your campaign. Oh,
Gingy's always gonna be cooking.
So you guys can do whatever you want before you settle in for the night. Just let me know what it is.
Anyone like some night eggs?
Would I have the stuff for like a really simple jambalaya, just basically rice, bit of meat, and some broth? Or would I be able to find that?
Sure.
Ooh.
Probably. You're not the one with no pockets to put eggs in, so
Just a stack I carry on the side.
He is not going to this egg the whole
I'll say right about now, everybody realizes that he's still just. Okay.
held the menu like this. Just the whole interaction just.
Yeah, just where I would, just where like there's a drawer pouch, where like one compartment holds like all the like spell components, like the next component just holds food stuff.
Yeah.
Which
sounds good.
sometimes they mix and match. It don't matter too much.
Great.
So yeah, I'm gonna get to cooking a jambalaya.
So you're gonna go make a jambalaya. you gonna make some night eggs?
Yeah. It's eggs,
Okay.
but for the nighttime.
Eggs are good all the time, okay?
That's
Yeah.
fair, accurate, but
Bullford will go take his egg, the one that he was gifted, and he'll like place it in the kitchen near, kind of like between, like near the jambalaya making, and then he'll back his way out.
Bulford, how you want it?
Whatever you think is best. I don't handle chickens very well, but I'm sure you know exactly how to work it all.
All right, all right.
I'll
Alright, you
trust
want some
you.
of this too?
As long as there is no pork to be had, I'll be all right. Not pork, beef.
I was about to say, what
that's
do you
a
want?
weird dietary restriction. But
Yeah, I was like, hold up. As long as there's no beef, I'll be all right.
But yeah, you said the guy whose place this is Bart.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll say, Bart, you want some of this too?
Hey, I'm never gonna turn down good food from good people. So
Well, that first one. Too.
anything you can give me, I'll be happy to have.
Okay, yeah, I'll make enough for everybody.
Cool.
I'll make
I'm
a
gonna ask Bart about
eggs over
the.
easy.
I'm gonna ask Bart about like the milk supply chain. See what's going on with that. See if he knows anything. Because he's a coffee shop, so he's got to buy milk and dairy and stuff.
Fair
So
enough.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you
I
know,
remembered.
you did. It's been weird because normally we just get it straight from the source out into pastures and all that. But recently, in the last couple of months, everything comes on it in these big trucks and they park towards the center of the city, and then they send out little caravans that drop stuff off. And those of us that are still afloat and can afford to buy stuff, they have to buy it at a huge markup from whatever the market price is. So that's how they're pushing us out with that one. Because I mean, the Baskin Queens down the road, they use all kinds of milk for their ice creams and stuff like that, and they're driving the price so high that us little guys just can't get any of it.
Do you know what the name of this milk supply line is?
I don't know what the name of really any of it is, because it's just whatever comes in on the trucks, and the trucks are just big unmarked trucks.
Well, thank you kindly for letting me know.
Sure.
Because we've been having some issues down on the farm. We can't get people to buy the milk, so it's just going bad. So
I mean, I buy up every drop I can get in here, but again, it's just there's for some reason just not the supply for everybody else.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because we've had a slowdown on our egg sales. Normally, my egg pouch is not this full, but since no one's
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. Why do you keep your eggs in a bag? It can't be good for them.
Oh, they don't break, and you can kind of like there's not like stains or drippage from the bag. They just
I believe you.
break.
It seems like the wrong way to carry around eggs when you're going, cross country venturing.
You never know when you might need an egg.
I don't disagree with that. I just disagree with the fact that you got like several dozen eggs in a cloth bag on your side I assume you walk to the city.
Yeah.
And then you're going to walk around and find these things. And then it sounds like you got to do some kind of fighting. But I don't know.
Maybe we should try to make it into a backpack. You can make little shells for the eggs.
Sure.
He'll start working on that with his.
Okay.
Nobody been buying
Finds like a crate out back. That's like an empty like crate. He'll start using like some wood carver tools to like make a little like shells and stuff to build a backpack with. I got all kinds of supplier tools in my like arsenal.
Great.
He's a hardworking man. So that's what he's doing while everyone's cooking.
All right. Sounds good.
Gonna pull out the handmade hot sauce too.
Awesome. Good. So you guys go ahead and you make up some jambalaya and eggs. Late night dinner of champions. You serve, you guys eat. It's good eating all around. The hot sauce really just sort of tips it over the top. By the time Bart has finished up his portion, which is an alarmingly large portion for such a small man, he goes, "Oh man, That was good. You said your name was Charles? That was good stuff, Charles. If you haven't yet, you should really think about setting up shop somewhere in the city once this whole other thing is taken care of. We gotta get to that point first, obviously, but you should really consider it. But I mean, that's gonna put me out.
Waterfront?
I mean, there might be some place that you could at least put a pond in. We'll get you a cot or something. You can come in on the weekends and sell out of a cot or something. Okay, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. But apparently, I'm in real estate now too. But that's gonna put me out right for at least 11, 12 hours. So I'm gonna go to bed and maybe not see you guys in the morning because I'm full. I haven't been this full in a long time. So best of luck to you if I don't see you. If I do, hey, we'll have some breakfast together. But otherwise, you're welcome to stay.
It's always eggs.
Turn the light out. It's the last light bulb I got. And I'll see you around.
All right, you have a good night.
He waddles his way off to bed.
It's just a round gnome now.
He's clearly like super full too. He's like leaned back a little bit on it as he waddles his way away, and there's as much room in the stomach as possible. Anything else you guys want to do before you go to bed? That is how
I'll hand Melis the new little wooden egg crate that I made. I made this while y'all were making dinner.
Oh, thank you. That's mighty kind. Thank you.
No problem. It's the best I can do while y'all were cooking.
Slowly transferring my eggs into the new crate.
2, 3. All right. Anything else you guys want to take care of? All right.
I'm good.
Then you settle in just around, like you start to go look for where he said like he was sleeping and stuff, and he's just like asleep around the corner in the kitchen, like on like some like nest almost that he's made of blankets and pillows and like aprons and old things like that. So you guys just sleep wherever, just set up and sleep off the heavy late night meal you've decided to have.
Good.
I would say that then you guys would all wake up. It'd be about, at this point, 7 or 8 in the morning. So sun's up, but it's still pretty dark here, probably, all around, just because it is, you're within city walls. You're surrounded by these large buildings among the smaller buildings, and it's papered over, or the windows are papered over. So there's light coming in, but there's not like a whole lot of light coming in. So the inside is lit with this sort of like warm glow-ish. And you guys are welcome to do what you'd like.
I'll make some eggs before we set out. Scrambled this time.
Great.
Wolford does his morning stretches, getting ready. Since he can't go out straight to work on the farm, he'll just stretch, get himself right and limber.
Johns is probably going to think about how the fish are doing and hope that things haven't gone to hell.
Melis will put some feed down on the ground too, and let the girls peck around while she's making eggs.
Sounds good. Do you just have the 2 chickens with you, or do you have more than that? Okay,
just the 2 for now.
Just wanted to
for now.
Yeah.
Right, of course. So you guys go ahead and finish up. Some scrambled eggs, just like a lot of scrambled eggs.
My favorite type.
Like almost an alarming amount of scrambled eggs. And you guys are welcome to do what you want with the day. You've got 3 different districts that you can go try and figure out. You can go take a look at the temple. It is up to you what you want to do.
So y'all thinking the temple first, or head straight to one of the districts?
Yeah, I think the temple sounds right.
Yeah, maybe we might learn more about the other districts if we go to the temple.
Yeah. So
All right.
we head that way.
Sounds good. Then you guys go ahead and walk back out into the city. Vaguely remember the direction that Bart had pointed in, and start heading that way. Who is leading?
I'll lead. I'll lead just because I'm pretty sure I'm the person that's been to the city the most.
Fair enough.
That sounds
But
good.
now that I know, now that I've like got in my head about an egg supply, I'll probably be heading to the city a little bit less.
Okay. So Bulford, you go ahead and lead. Give me a give me a perception check as you lead everybody through the city.
Ooh. Perception will be a total of 22.
Great. Follow-up question. Are you guys like quietly going, or are you just like parading through the center of the street on your way there?
I'm not gonna say
This could
we're.
be a group
I'm just
decision.
guessing.
This
I'm
could be a
not
group
saying.
decision you made back in the
Right.
cafe.
I probably wouldn't say we're sneaking, but I don't think we're like making a ruckus as we're walking. We're just kind of
Right.
like meandering.
I mean,
Kind
I
of
can't
like
pull out
I'll be
the-
observing the city as we're like walking through.
Sounds good. So you guys go ahead and you start to make your way towards the center of the city. On your way there, after honestly only probably about a block and a half, you turn a corner and you run almost directly into a long snaking line of people standing single file, just weaving back and forth across the street, leading out to a one of these like large buildings that's sort of sitting on top of a bunch of smaller buildings with these sort of like tubes that go down into the buildings below. It is a green and pink building with a sign on the side of it that has logo of what looks like a donut with a mermaid inside of it, and a sign that says Stark and Donuts. And all of these people are waiting to get in, seemingly. As you turn the corner and almost run into them, no one reacts at all.
Are we taking up the whole sidewalk?
No, not necessarily, but they're actually not even on the sidewalks. They're in the street, like taking up the full length back and forth of the street. And you guys can see, and you've noticed as you walk so far, there are cars and stuff like sitting on the side of the street that seem to just have not moved for a long time. Like a lot of the wheels look like they don't have enough air in them anymore. They almost seem to have like a layer of dust sitting over a lot of parts of them.
Can I see into one of the cars?
Yeah. You go ahead and wipe off the window and look into the car. Doesn't. I mean, it looks like the inside of a car, just like a normal.
Nobody's in there?
No.
Okay. What y'all think about this? It's kind of unnerving. I don't like how there's no talking, no nothing. They're just sitting there.
It's a dumb way to make a line.
I don't like it. Is it just like so quiet? Like if we clapped, we could probably hear it echo.
Oh yeah. Like it is dead silent.
Do they blink? Do they move?
I mean, do you clap in front of one of them, or you just clap?
I'll clap in one in front of them, just the one we bumped into.
Okay. Clap in front of them, and they just sit, staring forward.
I'll tap on their shoulder.
You tap, and they go, and they kind of look in your general direction. Like, if you're back here, head like kind of turns towards you.
What are y'all waiting for?
Just grunts and points off at the large building.
Sir, you doing all right? You look mighty tired. So we're not getting a word out of him. He's just grunts.
Not a word. He's just sort of grunting in general response to what you're saying, but he's just.
Anybody have any way to detect undead or something?
I do not.
Oh.
I am the magic man.
Dang.
Are you getting off one of them shifts?
Just a long sigh.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
And looking Bulford, now looking out over the top of it, you can see where this line actually enters the building. There's another door that seems to have a person coming out of it every like couple minutes or so. Just sort of like walking out, holding a cup, looking either direction, then starting to just sort of like wander down the other direction on the street.
I'm gonna go up to one of the people that like left
Okay.
with their cup.
Do all of you guys want to go with, or do you want to stay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will follow the bull man, who seems to be the most reliable person aside from my other companion at this point.
Fair enough.
Just because
And as
everybody
we
else
go-
here seems to be dead.
As we go,
Everyone else is really creepy.
Yeah.
I just want to.
Excuse, and I'll shout out. Well, not shout, but like kind of call out to them. Excuse me, sir. Sir, I got a question. Or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Person, you know.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You there with the cup of coffee?
Long day. Yeah. What's up?
I got a quick question for you. Did you just come from working from one of them factories?
Yeah.
Or you going in for your shift?
I don't remember.
How do you don't remember if you're coming or you're going?
It's one of those things where it just all blends together.
Been running a long couple weeks, couple months, I guess.
Yeah, I work over at the Jumbo Julius. It's not. All I smell is fruit.
Well, you know, a good fresh fruit is all right. At least once or
I
twice a
didn't
day.
say
But
fresh fruit, just fruit.
oh, that's
I
not
think I'm
good.
supposed to be going, not coming. So,
Would you like an egg?
do you want me to put it in your smoothie? I'm a little confused.
No, it's just, they're good for you.
Yeah, you had a home cooked meal in a long time, boy.
No.
Why don't you take this here egg?
If we can
Take
retcon,
it
I'll
home.
say that I boiled a couple while we were
Sure.
making breakfast.
Yeah.
So I'll hand him a boiled egg.
You gotta have your road snacks, okay?
Yeah, you got a good boiled egg.
Pour some of the hot sauce on the boiled egg and go, oh yeah, right there.
You eat that. You eat it right now.
Oh, okay. I gotta go to my shift, I think.
You said you were
Pretty
you were
sure.
going. You're going home.
No, going to.
Going to.
Sorry.
No, it's
You
okay.
take some
I'll
bite.
kind of lightly pat him on the back. Hope you have a good shift, sir. Take it easy.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And takes a bite as he's walking, and then you see him stop and kind of look at the egg and go, and keep
A
going.
damn good egg.
He just kind of disappears off, and it's every couple minutes or so a new person files out of this one.
Oh, I don't like this. I
Can
say
we
we head on to the temple. I say
Yeah.
we hurry a little bit.
I think so. Can we see inside the building?
Yeah, looking inside, there are. This line comes into what looks like an airport security line as it goes back and forth up to the counter, and there is then another line of people who are waiting on the other end of the counter, just single file, as people who are just totally devoid of emotion on their face make coffee and put it out, and make coffee and put it out, and make coffee and put it out. And then every time somebody gets one, they go ahead and they leave.
The heart of the city done died.
I don't like it.
And the whole city flooded, but ain't nobody drowned.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Well, so I say we pick up our pace a little bit, try to head to the temple. Because this
Let's
is going
get-
to be, I think like this might be a little bit more serious than we originally thought.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys go ahead and you start to make your way towards where you believe the temple is. I don't know why I said it like that. It's where the temple is.
Or so we
Guys, did he say the center of the city or the left center of the city? I can't remember.
It's the center left back part of the city.
yeah, it's
Ah, shit,
exactly.
you're right. Fuck.
So, you go ahead and you, with a renewed sort of vigor and a little bit more oomph to your steps, make your way towards the center of the city where the temple is. As you're going, you are passing over and over again these places that are empty, boarded up as you're going. It's horribly depressing to walk past. But you don't run into any other huge like lines like that of people just waiting to get into a single place. But you do pass a couple of different places where it seems like there are people inside who are working or ordering food from them as you are pushing your way through the city. You're also passing a bunch more of these abandoned cars that are just sort of hanging out on the sides here. And Bulford, with that last perception check, you would hear a sort of a buzzing sound amid the like sounds. You hear sort of like this buzzing sound every once in a while, and you can look up and see these drones just sort of like flying overhead every once in a while in different directions, carrying these large like packages underneath them.
It's that Amazon again. That Amazon.
But you guys go ahead and you push your way through. Seemingly this early in the morning, or at this time in the morning, people have made it to their shifts, so there are not really people out and about. But you get to the point where you hear more and more of this loud metal clanging that's coming through. And as you turn a corner to see the temple that was originally here in all of its glory, you instead see what is still a large sort of like stepped pyramid shape that has what was once painted many different colors to create sort of like a fun, exciting vibe to the outside of it. You see something that has been painted a dull gray color. And the construction that Bart had been talking about seemingly is the fact that now there is a deep, we're going to call it a ravine around the temple, like a deep moat without water.
Oh no!
Like just carved into the like pavement and cement, blowing through some buildings and city blocks, ringing around the temple. And you guys can see as you approach a little bit more you can hear, and following that you can see that deep underground there are all of these like massive pipes almost with these huge pistons coming in at a weird angle on the side of them that are slamming in and pulling back and slamming in, seemingly pushing something through these pipes. And you can see them down in the ravine, stretching from the city side to where, like, this island where the temple is now. But there, from what you can tell, is no way to get to the temple from where you're at.
How wide is the ravine?
Probably like a good 150 feet.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Like it's like a canyon almost. Canyon's a better word than
Okay,
ravine.
yeah.
It's like deep and wide. It's like big.
And so 150 feet across. How deep?
You can't see the bottom.
Oh.
You can just see way down these massive pipes with these pistons in the side of them.
Hmm.
And
Do
are
you see any
we
other
can't burn
like
it.
are the
living
sides
people?
like
Living people around you. I mean, you don't see any of them out on the temple area.
Mhm.
But with that 22, you guys have passed a lot of different places. You do actually see, and you've seen a couple of places on the way into here that are still, or that have people inside of them, that are these smaller places that have people inside of them. And on like looking in inspection, it doesn't look like they're open for business, but it looks like the people live there instead, which is not super uncommon. Most people sort of like live with their restaurant in this city that's literally built around food. But it looks like they're not operating for that. Every other person that you've passed, and a couple of the people that you can see walking around in this area, because it is one of the more trafficked areas, are seemingly like blank-faced and walking through in the like horrible, ill-fitting corporate uniforms. Some of them have hats, some of them have visors, some of them just have like a polo on. All of them have no expression at all on their face as they walk through.
Yeah, I'm gonna ignore the zombie people because they kind of make me nervous.
Fair
I'm gonna
enough.
go to
What
the
if you
close.
see me in
I'm
my
gonna back
jaw?
up. Y'all, I think we should maybe. Hopefully, it won't be too much of an intrusion. I think we back up and go to one of these places that used to be a restaurant, but now it's just somebody's home. See if they're up and alive. See if they can give us any more insight on this. If y'all think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds smart.
Are you sure we can't burn the city?
Listen, if these big corporations were not on top of the small buildings, I would be a fan of just burning it all to the ground. Sometimes if you got a bad barn, you just gotta burn it and then you gotta rebuild. But that's a lot of rebuilding, and my family is large, but not that large. And some people probably still live in them abandoned homes or abandoned restaurants. So
Do they though? Do they?
who? I mean, we're about to find out.
Yeah.
So we'll
I mean,
back
I
up
wouldn't call
to
it,
one
but
of the
okay.
houses.
Are the sides of the canyon, is it like cut straight down? Like it's pretty steep.
It's pretty sheer, yeah. Like it's not perfect. Like it.
Right.
Nobody came in with like a laser and like took a donut out of the city, but
Right.
it's pretty well excavated, more or less straight down.
They still got the guys who were digging it. They're still down there digging. That's how deep it is.
Never stop digging.
They might be. So you guys want to backtrack to one of the restaurant homes that you have come across?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and backtrack. You find a place called Leo's Ever Ready A1. Knock, knock. Peek into the door. There is a couple of people in there. Looks like a man, a woman, and a child in there, sort of getting ready. And they look, and the woman goes, "Can I help you? Is there something you all need?"
Absolutely, ma'am. I just have a few questions if you do not mind answering them, as long as it's going to be perfectly safe for you and your family, because I'm gonna be honest. My name is Bulford Angus Cattleman the Fourth. I'm with the Cattleman Ranch out the city.
Sure.
And I came in and I was gonna pay my respects at the temple. And as you probably know, because you live so close, it's a hole in the canyon.
Yeah.
Is there any way to get to the temple anymore? What's going on that way?
Not as far as we've been able to find, but we don't really know what happened. It just one day there were fences up around it, nobody could get in, and then about a week later the fences came down and they had started to dig down at that point, and it was pretty deep then. Honestly, kept the boy up all night for that week plus that they were digging near the surface, and they just kind of kept going down, so couldn't tell you how deep it actually goes, but it's pretty deep enough to where it stopped being a noise problem for us.
Gotcha. That's not too good. Not good for the earth. Do you work in one of them establishments? These wannabe fancy places. These chains.
I do not. my husband here, Leo, and you see the man who's sitting there or standing there, just kind of, he's mostly just plain faced. He just raises his hand and nods a little bit towards you guys. He's he's stuck. He's stuck working over at the Chili Bees down the road, and it to say he hates it is, an understatement.
Looks like
When
it's
did
pulling the
that?
life out of him.
Yeah, when did that start happening to him?
Well, he had to start there about a month and a half ago because we couldn't get the pork in. We couldn't get anything in really to keep this place afloat. And she puts her hand on the counter, rubs it a little bit lovingly, if forlornly, and just well, we needed some way to bring some money in so we could, survive. And so we decided to shut the doors and he went to work and well, he's stuck working every day. He's actually working on getting ready to go now. And well, we count the minutes till he gets back because as soon as he gets back, we put him to bed, and then he wakes up, and he's got a little life in him, and then he has to go back there, so.
Pulls it out a little more every day.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
One more
those
question.
places
Y'all
are
ever get-
bleeding this city dry, so.
Y'all ever get tired of it, always come out living on the swamp. There ain't no job out there, but they provide.
Sure, I mean, it's not a bad suggestion, but we can't really afford to buy up property outside of the city right now, so.
Oh, no, there's no problem. There's no bad property. I got a place.
Do you got a place for every other family in the city as well?
Give me like a week.
All right, then I guess we'll hold you to that.
Just gotta have a clan of swamp people out there. There's not enough wood to make shanties out there.
Oh no!
Well, I guess that solves that then. Good
All
job.
right, we're done.
See y'all
Oh,
later.
game's over. See you guys later.
Yeah.
Yeah, do y'all know who was digging? Who orchestrated that?
I don't, because they started late one night for some reason, and they put up those fences, and every time we'd go out there, we couldn't see anybody, any people working on it. It was just all these drones and machines and robots that were pulling up the concrete and pulling up the foundations of different buildings and burrowing their way down, further and further. So.
Sure. Right, you don't know where the drones or the robots came from.
Can't say that I do. I have a guess, but feel like I shouldn't be throwing accusations around at the only employers within the city. So,
What's the guess?
We won't tell nobody.
I mean, I think it probably came from one of those chains, or all of those chains. Not sure which one. They, if they're getting so much out of bleeding the city dry, I can't imagine why they wouldn't also want to cut off the spiritual soul of the city, a place where we have, the most of our vigor, and the place that gives us all sort of passion whenever we might falter a little bit in the way we're going.
Fair enough. One more question. Do people just not drive no more? I've seen a lot of cars just parked.
Well, yeah, they don't really, because it's not worth it to drive around, because you don't have don't have time really to go enjoy the different fare that this city might offer you, and you don't have time to go see friends, you don't have time to go see family, you don't have time to go do a whole lot of anything, and you wouldn't drive to work because, well, I'm sure you noticed these chains are building themselves on top of people's homes, on top of people's establishments, which means that all the people that are underneath them are working for that one, which means all of their cars are taking up parking, and then you just work at the closest one, and so it's just easier to have people walk to and from work for the most part. It, I mean, it's a horrible sight to see, and Matthew here doesn't much like it when he has to go out and all he sees a dad's car that's been sitting left to rot, or the neighbor's car that's been sitting there without anything going on with it or anything like that. And I mean, at the beginning, people were trying to sell their cars to make some more money to keep their places open, but now nobody's got money to buy cars, so they just sit instead.
How about the kids? Are they still? Do they go to school still, or do they start working?
They're not working. They haven't gotten that far yet, but I'm sure that's somewhere on the horizon. But they don't really get out much anymore because well, those drones that, are up and around every once in a while, they keep an eye on things for whoever's in charge, and kids going out and having a good time or bettering themselves in any way so they could potentially get out of the city and move on in life. They don't much like that, so they stay inside for the most part and help out where they can. Isn't that right? The little kid with the big old glasses looks up at his mom and goes, uh-huh.
So
Probably like 6.
what you're saying is, if we make enough ruckus, they'll come look for us.
I suppose it wouldn't take much ruckus. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the city's pretty well ordered at this point.
Mm-hmm. And you don't know who's in charge.
Can't say that I do, other than the chains that are, overriding everything right now. So
We have to speak to the manager.
We do. I think you're right.
Well, thank you for your information. Sorry to take up any of the little time you have left.
Where did you all come from? You have personalities and stuff still. It's not something we're used to right now.
We're from over yonder.
We're from outside the city over yonder.
Yeah.
Different directions, different hollers,
Yeah.
different farms, different walks of life. We just figured we'd come in, pray at the temple, look at the heart of the city. I used to come here with my family a lot. We've been a little busy lately, so I haven't had a chance to come in. It's just a little different than I remember it months back.
And a lot's changed in recent months, so I can only imagine. But yeah, I guess that if you're not careful, you'll end up with some of those drones and enforcers and whatever bearing down on you. But
fair enough.
Good to know. Mm-hmm.
What's the closest district to here? Well, what's the closest district to where we're at right now? From the range, the stock pot, and the pits. Which one's closer?
Well, I mean, you can get
I
to
know
any
where
one of them pretty quick from here. Technically, we're in. Well, you've just crossed over into the range, or no, into the pit area. You just left Stockpot, and assuming you came from the main gate of the city, which sort of leads border in between them, but you're in the pit right now. This is one of the upper parts of the pit, shall we say.
Gotcha.
It's called the pit because it's a dry heat pit, but also because it's a pit. It goes down, down, down as you head further into it. So
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, what is it best cook around here well before the happened?
what was that? Good friend.
He asked where the best cook used to be in this area.
Oh, I mean, I think my Leo is one of the best cooks. Squeezes her husband's shoulder. But I guess it would really depend upon what it is you were actually looking for. The more upscale, shall we say, places are further down in the pit. So those are the places that people go when they spend maybe a little more money than up on the outskirts here. But the outskirts are where you find your good, hearty, casual food that your average working folk need.
What's the best dive restaurant or a
Best-
diner?
The best dive, well, in the area, I'd have to say it was Baby Mueller King's barbecue, but he went down actually pretty early on because he just wasn't getting the foot traffic that he needed. He was probably about 4 or 5 blocks away from here, just sort of towards the center.
All right. Well, thank you kindly for all
Do
your
you know?
help. What about down the fancy way?
Down the fancy way. I mean, you could probably tell by just looking at us, but we don't make it that far in that often. But
I figure word would might travel.
it does, but can't say I've ever been down to it. But one of the best, from what I understand, is the Nine Hells Kitchen.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few of them down there, but from what I understand,
One question, last question I think I have. You know that anybody else who still have personality like us right here?
I mean, any household that you can make it into that they haven't had to, go to work at one of those corporations is gonna be your best bet for finding people that can, actually talk to you and not just get stuck in those lines. I'm sure walking through the city you saw at least one of them that is a little, well, we'll say it gives my son here some nightmares, so we avoid them as best as we can.
Understandably so.
I don't blame him. Yeah.
But
yeah,
anywhere that has people that aren't necessarily working for the corporations, which is not always the easiest to find, but they do exist scattered around.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Of course. If we could be of any help, just let us know. There's not much we can do, but we like seeing new folk, regardless of if the world seems to be ending. So,
Well, you have helped us plenty.
I think if I can get a little bit of spice and just not like just plain spice stuff. I gotta be like a little satchel, just bundle wrap and say, "Hey, for you."
And I'll pull out before we leave half a dozen eggs. Leave them on the table.
oh, all right. Much appreciated, both of you. Thank you. Yeah, if you're coming back this way, you're more than welcome. Just give us a knock, give us a shout, and we'll probably be right about here. So
just make sure you don't give up hope.
Doing our best, and honestly, this sort of thing, it helps. So,
well, don't worry. That's what we're here to do.
Hope you're right. So
you
best
take
of luck.
care.
You as well. And you guys go ahead and you head out. Where do you want to go? What direction you want to head?
We know
I
there's the
think-
9 hells. Sorry.
Well, I think maybe we should check out the guy. What is it? What was the place? Baby Mueller Kings first.
Yeah.
Since it's close. Just to,
And then we
just
go
to
to the-
see what's going on, see what happened to him, how he got taken out first.
Mhm.
Seemed to be interesting to me. And then I think we head on down to the 9 Hells kitchen, see what level of hell we end up in.
I mean, me personally, it's a toss up. It's either, I don't know.
Well, I think we should head on down to Baby Mueller's first. Maybe he can give us some insight, or they can give us some insight on what happened, and then we can head on down. Because it's always nice to get a heads up before we head right into the coyote den.
So you guys want to head over to Baby Mueller King's barbecue?
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay.
head over there
Sounds-
first.
And if we see David Sharpstone on the way over there, we're going to beat him up.
Cracked knuckles.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Always
All
ready
right,
to
so you
throw down
guys-
with that man.
Amazing. You guys go ahead and you begin to make your way deeper into the pit. As you go, despite the fact that you're only going a few blocks, you actually do notice that the air is starting to get warmer. And you begin to notice that the street actually does slope downward into towards the center of this district, it seems like. So as you go ahead and weave your way through the streets here, who's leading again? Wolford again?
Probably Wolford still.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna do it.
All
I'm
right,
just gonna
go
give
ahead
other
and make
people a
another
chance.
perception check.
Ooh, not as good as the last one. I got a math became suddenly hard. I have a 12.
Any way we can
12.
give the help action?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Go for it. So go ahead and roll it again.
Oh, much better. That would be 21.
21.
21.
Much better.
Okay. Yeah, way better. So you guys go ahead and even though you're only going a few blocks, you are now more cautious and more aware of the things that are going on. God damn. Yeah, you're more cautious and more aware of the things that are going on in the city around you, and so you're trying to keep a better eye out for them. And you hear, with relative regularity, the just sort of bzzz of the drones as they pass around and overhead. You pass a couple of like larger vehicles almost that are pulled off the side of the road and have been left, it seems like, but they appear to be like food trucks almost, but not in the sense that they still have like operations going on inside of them, and a lot of them have been like almost sloppily painted back over a little bit, so you can see what they were peeking out from underneath, but you can't see like what it was necessarily, and there's nobody attending to them. But as you are going deeper into this area, you actually see a couple of like those really bright, almost pulsing, glowing lights from around one of the corners. As you come and peek down it, you can see a large sign for this overturned bell with a clown face sticking out of it, with the label Jack and the Bell underneath it. As you look down that way, you can see the faded out sign of Baby Mueller King's barbecue sitting underneath it.
hate it. I'll cautiously approach the door.
What's the takeout menu doing right now?
Yeah.
What's the takeout menu doing right now?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to go find out?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Sounds good. So as you guys make your way over towards the building, there is the option, because this one is actually sitting on top of everything else, to take a side set of stairs that seem to have been like cobbled together out of like scaffolding, up to the larger Jack in the Bill building, if you'd like to go there.
No.
No.
Nope.
It smells, from where you are, kind of terrible. It smells like some awful combination of low-grade hamburgers and bad Mexican food, as I'm sure most people could guess. But
what about their curly fries?
I mean, it smells like fry oil, so
Stale curly fries.
yeah.
Day old. Unsalted. Anyway. What's the menu doing?
The menu is you can see it from where you're at. It's on the side, or one of them is on the side of the building, with sort of like a flickery backlight to it, so it's not anything that you can super well read, and it's kind of a pain to look at. But they are running a special, supposedly, where you can, if you buy 3 cheeseburgers, you also get 3 tacos for some reason.
Nice.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. I meant the menu of prophecy that we have.
Oh, gotcha.
I also wanted to know what the actual menu did, so you're good.
The prophesization menu. You guys can pull it out, and it's just kind of sitting for right now. It's just a menu. And actually, if you open it and look at it, the like filigree that had moved around is still moved, but it's not like glowing or anything anymore. It's just sort of set.
Okay.
But you guys make your way up to Baby Mueller King's barbecue, and it's not boarded up. It's not papered off. The door is glass, but the building itself is just sort of like a brick building. But like glancing in, it doesn't look like there are any lights on necessarily.
I'll still knock.
Okay. Knock. And you, after a good 20 seconds or so, the door creaks open, and an older man is standing behind the door in what looks to be a bathrobe thrown over a uniform. He says, "Can I help you?"
We're looking for the owner of what used to be Baby Mueller King's barbecue. Would you happen to be it?
I am Baby King. What can I help you
Nice
with?
to meet you, sir. Do you mind if we come in and we chat a little bit?
Make a persuasion check.
This is like 2 or something like for them, and like we just showed up like, hey, you want to talk real quick?
Yeah, we got talk. Excuse us. Persuasion. Oh yeah, no, we should be all right. Yeah, we're gonna be just fine. That's 18.
All right. He looks you up and down. And he goes, "All right, come on in then." And he steps back. He like shuffles backward a little bit and opens the door the rest of the way. He says, What exactly do you think, or what exactly is it that you need?"
So as you can, unless anybody else wants to speak up, as you can kind of tell, we are a little bit different than your run-of-the-mill folk that live here in the town. My name's Bulford Angus Cattleman the Fourth. and
Lord.
we are here to kind of figure out what happened to the heart of the city. It's there's a lot of these weird restaurants going on. I'm here for the family establishments, and they seem to be gone. Uh, and I heard a lot of talk about you. So what happened? If you don't mind telling us what happened, what went down.
Well, here we were just well, we were smoking one day, and this building, and he points up, appeared on top of one of the neighbors. They had been bought out, it seems like, and it expanded to be over the top of mine. And well, it expanded to be over the top of mine once they bought me out. But I couldn't afford to keep the doors open anymore. That's all there really is to it. Got all my smoke gear and all that still, but couldn't keep people coming through the door fast enough.
How about now? Are you working for one of the chains?
Oh, I just work straight upstairs. Commute's nice, but work is not great. I mean, commute's nice. It's still longer than my last commute because I just, live off the restaurant here. But it's nice that I don't have to go too far. These old legs don't move like they used to. So this is the best case scenario for a bad situation from what I can muster.
So it just showed up one day. You didn't hear the construction, the nothing.
No, they all seem to do that though. From what I've heard, they just sort of popped up out of nowhere, and they've been here. There's a place for chains, but these mega buildings that they got going on just cropped up out the blue. So.
And how long have you been working there?
There, hard to say. Days all sort of blend together. Month and a half, 2 months, something like that. It probably cropped up about 2.5 months ago, though. So.
Did you ever hear anything about the Nine Hells pit down yonder?
Nine Hells Kitchen. They're some crazy man runs that, I hear, but he's a mighty fine cook from what I understand. He's got a lot, it seems, going on in his head all the time, but he's fine enough from what we can understand. He runs a tight ship, we'll say.
Are they still open?
Couldn't much tell you, honestly. Can't imagine they are, considering the fancy folk ran out of money about the same time as poor folk, because they didn't stop their spending on fancy dining. So they just go on down, get themselves some fancy food for way too much money, and then they'd go back home. Whereas normal people would come, get themselves some good food for a normal amount of money, and then go on home. And so it seems like most people around here are just sort of bled dry at this point.
Can never understand the fancy people wanting them fancy food. You don't even get the same. You don't even get the same amount for the price that they pay. Can never understand.
I don't understand why it gets smaller the more expensive it is.
Mm-hmm.
Can't much stand them fancy types.
No, when it gets more expensive here, we give you more food. That's how it works.
I respect that.
A more bang for your buck, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, I hope you don't take offense to this, but we've seen some other folks who've been working at some of them chains, and they seem to have lost themselves. But
yeah,
you still seem all there.
Well, when you're a hardy old soul like me, you keep it a little bit longer than the young folk do. We don't. We got a better sense of who we are than maybe the youngins do, but it's weighing on me. I can feel it weighing on me, and that is unfortunate because I used to have so much vigor for what I did. People around me had so much vigor for what they did that, it's just become a little bit soul sucking, and that's just the way it goes. But is there a reason you all are making the rounds, or reason you're looking to get to the Nine Hells Kitchen or anything like that? What's
Want some information?
Just trying to figure out what happened. We haven't been to the city in a long time, so we just everywhere somebody points us, we just kind of wandering over that way.
Yeah, we just want to help things.
Hey, if you
And-
can get this chain off the top of my house, I'll be over the moon.
We'll do our best. Yeah,
That is the
we
goal,
were just
sir.
we were out looking for kind of the heart and
I
soul
have.
of this district.
I said, how direct of a solution do we need?
I would like to have my business back as well. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
the chain is only part of the problem. Heart and soul. The heart and soul is or was the people that were around here, but I mean, food just gets better and better further in you go. Around the expensive places, there are still plenty of smaller places to, spend your hard-earned money at, but it's just a matter of getting to it.
Now, what did you think was the best place?
I mean, don't want to pat myself on the back or anything, but I had some of the absolute best spare ribs in the area, and nobody's going to take that away from me because I think I could still throw a couple of those on there.
I believe it. Did Mr. Fiery ever come to your
He
establishment?
came by, yeah. He's the reason I was here. He went out. He invited just about everybody you see in this city to the city, with the exception of the little kids, the youngins. The real youngins. They've made their way, a more, we'll say, natural way. But it means that their parents, they're setting down roots here, and that's a good thing to see.
That's good. Yeah. Did he have a favorite in these parts?
Oh, I don't know that he did. He had a buddy somewhere deeper in the actual pit, but he would go see him on occasion. But
Do you remember his name?
he wouldn't tell us what his name was. Old friend of his, though. He'd make his way down there and spend a little while, and then make his way back out, make his rounds on his way through each direction. But he's one of them there magic men, so he was hard to follow if anybody ever tried to.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Did any idea where his friend worked?
Oh, can't say that I really know. One of his best, or one of the first ones that came in, would have been that little gnome fella out at the cafe near the entrance to the city. That he'd probably know best. He's been friends with that man for a very long time. So if you haven't stopped there yet, I'd recommend it because he might have some more information. But that's all I know, really.
Do we get the sense that this man that Mr. Baby King is generally trustworthy?
Make an insight check. Mr.
17.
17. Yeah, he seems to be on the level with you guys. He seems really tired. Based on the fact that he's wearing a bathrobe over a uniform, you would probably infer that he has come off of a shift.
Yeah.
And so he's probably just kind of like worn down more than anything else.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he seems to be on the level with you guys all around. So he just doesn't know what he doesn't know. So
Okay.
Anybody else got any more questions for him?
No,
No.
thank you for your help.
sure.
Appreciate it.
If that's all, I appreciate you coming in. This is the first conversation I've had in a while that's been, entertaining to any degree. But
Sure.
I am
Yeah.
very tired and do need to get to bed. I gotta work a shift in about 7 hours, so need to get some rest in first.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
have a good long
Well,
rest.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Mind closing the door on your way out.
Absolutely, I got you.
All right. So you guys go ahead and you leave. What do you want to do?
I think we should head on down to the Nine Hills.
Yeah. I
For
reckon
sure.
we need to ultimately find this friend, but we don't have a better direction now. I think going to the Nine Hills is probably our best bet.
Well, I got a feeling if we head on down that way, he said that the guy that runs the establishment is a little off his rocker. And usually, if you can ask confusing enough questions, you can get all the information that you need. And no one will be the
That's
wiser.
fair.
Yeah, so you guys go ahead and you leave Baby Mueller King's Barbecue, and you turn and you start to make your way down deeper into the pit, heading towards the Nine Hells Kitchen. And that is where we're going to end for the week.
Woo.
So thank you guys very much for playing. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. We really appreciate it. Come back next week to see what happens next. Bye.
Thank you.
Later.
Bye,
Yeah.
y'all.